The Overwatch World Cup is back. Problem is, a lot of you probably have no idea what it is. The Overwatch World Cup is the most hype event that's ever been held for Overwatch as a professional esport, and it's not even close. The Overwatch World Cup is not another Overwatch League. In fact, they are not related at all. Most likely, there will not be any Overwatch League players in the cup, at least not active ones. The last time the Overwatch World Cup was held was in 2019 before Blizzard abandoned us until Overwatch 2 came out. It will consist of 36 teams in the tournament, all from different countries and regions all over the world, competing for one prize. These countries and regions will be decided by Blizzard as to who gets to be represented in the World Cup, then the teams will be picked by a committee. We'll get to that in a moment. The very beginning of this journey is going to start with the World Cup Trials, which is an open tryout to guarantee a spot in tryouts for your region. Next, teams will host official tryouts and pick their team. The really interesting part about this is that this is technically open to everybody. So you're going to have a lot of players on ladder that nobody's ever seen before, but maybe are top 5 or 10 on the ladder. You never know who's going to be able to show up in these events, so it makes it really exciting when you're looking at the teams. It is worth noting that this event is not going to be in LAN until we get to the later stages. So tryouts and everything most likely will be held online. I do believe, and don't quote me on this, that is up to the region and the committee that's running it. I believe that regions are allowed to have tryouts on LAN if they so choose, but I would guess that we'll see most of these tryouts on an online environment. Next up, teams will play in regional qualifiers, and then the top 16 teams will move on to the actual tournament. These regional qualifiers will still be online. Take away from that what you want. Group stage is where LAN will begin. All 16 teams that made it into the tournament will meet wherever LAN is being held, and that's when the tournament will actually start. After we play through group stage, the finals will start, and that's when a winner will be crowned. This will be in LAN, and it will be hype as shit. Now, I'm sure a lot of you might be sitting there saying, this sounds a lot like Overwatch League, except with a slightly different format and countries instead of states and cities. There are some similarities, but this tournament is a lot different and a lot more exciting. First off, this tournament is for a world title. Think League of Legends Worlds, Counter-Strike Worlds. This is the big title. Overwatch League, whether it's good or bad, is primarily US teams, with a couple of exceptions. Looking at the Shanghai Dragons, it's one that I can think of off the top of my head. This is the world. We will have Canada, US, Asia, Japan, whoever else has a team. They're going to be represented here. So it makes it so much more hype because it's going to give everybody from that country one team to root for. This leads us to my favorite part about OWC. The players that are on the teams competing for their country, just like in the Olympics, have to actually live in that country. One of my biggest gripes with OWL is that it's basically whoever has the bigger paycheck can get the best players and have the best team. But in this scenario, you have to get players from your country or your region, which means that it makes the games a lot more interesting. You see a lot more diverse gameplay other than just the top players in the world who got drafted from same countries, different countries, and just got paid enough to be on one team. I personally think that this format in OWL takes away from a bit of the hype of OWL, as it can kind of feel lopsided sometimes. Basically, like I said, whoever has the most money wins. To go back to my Olympic reference, imagine you're watching the Olympics and the person who is swimming for the US isn't even from the US. It's just not quite as exciting. I'm a Dallas Fuel fan. I want the people to be from Dallas. How sick would that be? But it's just not the case. All of these things bring us to the fact that we are going to have an event with levels of hype that we have not seen from competitive Overwatch since 2019 and the last one. And remember, just in case everyone forgot or doesn't know, the reigning champions currently is the US, so don't count us out. The pure hype of everybody from one country in the finals cheering on these teams is what makes these events great. I know for a fact that I'm going to be doing my best to get tickets to go to, hopefully, finals next year. Let me know what you think. Are you excited about it? If you are still here and you enjoyed this video, drop a like and subscribe to my channel for more Overwatch news and commentary. Catch you in the next one.